and Cigars, where we discuss marching bands and life situations. Hey, I am your host, Reggie. I am all the way from Kentucky State University, March Drum Major, Mellophone, all of those good things. You understand what I'm saying to you? You know what I'm saying? We're going to bring to you this red color today, but I'm just saying, I don't really like red, but we gonna do it today just because it's a special day. But you know what I'm saying? Mm-mm-mm, mm-mm-mm. Yeah. But also we have our boy, Mr. Herb Lenore over here as our host as well. You know what I'm saying? He is the rock of this podcast, also known from 0 to 10. But we ain't got there yet, but we gonna still try to get him to 10 one day and everything. So y'all know what we talking about when we say 10. You know what I mean? And then we have the Miss Fancy Flow, Miss Hula Hoop Queen, the one that get that body right for you. So you better look her up so that you can get on down to that size and get in that swimming pool. You know what I mean? Yeah. Today we have something special for you, boys and girls, ladies and gents. This person is all the way from Columbus, Ohio. He graduated from Eastmore Academy High School in 2001. He marched with the marching thoroughbreds, the mighty marching thoroughbreds of Kentucky State University in 2001 through 2006. He was a saxophone section leader. Mr. Kappa Psi himself, Spring '02, the Deuce and Tell. Yeah, he can tell some tales. You know what I'm saying? Because he won from Detroit. You know how I was with them Detroit guys. Absolutely. He is one of the past presidents of the magnificent Iota Mu chapter of Kappa Kappa Psi. But you want to know what? He didn't get enough. He just didn't get enough. In spring 2005, he went on here and became a great member of Kappa Alpha Psi. He graduated from Kentucky State University in 2006, became a music teacher at A Plus Arts Academy. He's the leader of an R&B band way up in Columbus, Ohio. He's a professional Las Vegas musician for the past 10 years. He's the leader of the Matt Sewer band and the Matt Sewer trio. He's a bass player for Ali Star and the Alley Cats, proud husband of Ashley Seward, proud father of Jackson and Johnny. I give to you and present to you, for some that already know and some that don't know, I give to you, drum roll, Mr. Matt Seward.
What's goody? What's goody? Appreciate that wonderful intro.
Hey man, you know we do what we do. We do what we do.
Welcome, Matt. It's a pleasure to have you with us here this afternoon, this morning.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for allowing me to bring some Ohio into this Detroitness.
Oh Lord.
You sound like you're trying to start some fighting words right now, brother, man. Don't do that.
It ain't nothing in Ohio but the Ohio players and the pass through that bridge to get to Kentucky.
Oh, so you want to mess with Zap?
Oh man, Zap is
they Ohio baby.
Ohio players and all of that. Yeah. You know, I go back with my old school now. Oh man, I remember a time. We was at my crib when we was in school. It was right before I left, and you was like, man, you have a voice just like the Temptation Eras and stuff. Remember you said that to me?
Old school, yeah, bro. That old school
voice. Yeah,
so
man.
Cool.
So what's been up with you, man?
Life has been great. Just enjoying life out in Las Vegas. That's where I've been for the past 10 years. My family's here, beautiful wife, 2 beautiful boys. My dad's out here, enjoying the Las Vegas scene, because my wife and I, we do still feel that we're always a visitor, because we don't live on the Strip. People don't understand. They're like, I couldn't live in Las Vegas. Well, we don't live on the Strip.
Right.
So every time we go to the Strip, we feel like we're visitors. It's always something to do, staying busy with the music, and gigging. And, both my wife and I, we work from home. So, life is life, and, we're loving it.
That's what's up. But what made y'all go out there, though?
So I went first. My wife and I were just dating first. So I went first. I went to LA first. LA didn't work out. And then I ended up moving to Vegas and planting my roots in Vegas. It was already my favorite city to vacation to.
Mhm.
I would go like at least 3 to 4 times a year. So planted roots here. And then my wife eventually joined me. She was my girlfriend at the time. Then we eventually got married. We celebrate 6 years in November.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
yeah, we planted roots here, moved my parents out here. So yeah, we're just loving it out here.
Now, when you said LA and out there to Vegas, was that a musical move or
It
traveling?
was, it was,
Okay.
it was. Just trying to get a little more. I feel like I had reached the ceiling in Ohio. Still love it. But I just wanted a little more. As far as performing and stuff and more opportunities. And LA has those, but LA is pretty expensive.
Mm.
So Vegas, it worked out better for me. Still love LA. I'm still close to LA, but Vegas, it was better for me musically.
Okay. That's what's up.
I love Vegas. I try to go a couple times a year as well. I got a tattoo artist out there too.
Oh yeah.
See, Herbs. I told you she on some other shit. All right, she just be coming up with some new shit all the time. Now I got to ask the question this time because we didn't ask the question last time.
Right.
What the hell are you doing out in Vegas a couple of times a year? Hmm. The
Is that
people,
question for me or him?
yeah, the people want to know this for you.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta go to Vegas and turn up.
Mm.
I gotta let my teacher hair down and just enjoy the atmosphere. It's a very welcoming place. I love it. And like I said, I got a tattoo artist out there. So every time I go, I make sure I get a tattoo.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Always something to do.
Look at her arm. Every time she's been in Vegas now.
Oh no, I got this one done. I started the leg sleeve. Yeah, I started
It ain't been no couple times.
my name is Jay.
Oh man.
Interesting.
How many tats? Oh, you got any tats, bro?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sleeved up.
See, you got a tattoo guy out there too?
Yeah, I do. I got a couple. Since we on the podcast, Reggie asked. Yeah,
Wow, that is really intricate. What did it say? Faith?
yeah, Faith.
Okay.
Yeah,
Man, I would have never thought that Matt would get all these type of tattoos.
Never, ever, ever, ever. It started with one small one, and then I got hooked.
Yep.
addiction. Yeah, man, I got 11 of them.
11.
Catch up. Catch up.
Listen, I don't go to Vegas as much as you do, as we can obviously see.
Vegas. I only got one there, one area. But yeah.
All right.
So we had a question that we were going to ask you about you sharing a story with a panel member, and Reggie just kind of segued into a story about his voice being something like Temptation era. Share more about that. I want to hear more about that.
He just got that soulful voice with like a little bit of growl to it, So like when he sing, it reminded me of like soulful R&B artists,
Okay.
So I just I always told him like, yeah, it's kind of temptation-y. I
Yeah.
know you want to leave me. That's that, that gritty. Yeah.
Don't get me started on here now.
Yes, Reggie, you gonna give us a little sample? Your vocal? No.
Nope.
That was the quickest no. That was the quickest no.
Get the saxophone again. I
We
enjoy
gonna
it.
get it up out of you. Mhm.
The Kenny G.
You get it out of me.
Kenny
You get it
G.
out of me.
Gonna
That's
get it out of you.
I have no filter when it comes to singing my songs. Look at here. Because if I was a real singer, I would be getting paid for it. So I have no problems with using my voice the way that I need to use my voice
Exactly.
and enjoy it. And
It's been a-
don't have and people that talk crap and talk about, oh, he can't sing. So what? You can't either because you ain't getting paid either.
Hey, I know he's gonna sing. We've been roommates a couple times, and his ass he sings even when he's getting ready. I'm like, come on, dude.
Oh, you got it? You good?
There you
I
go.
got mine too.
Mhm.
I'm doing coffee this early over here.
Oh man, that's funny.
I'm trying to keep it kosher. Add a little water in there.
No, but Flo, what we would do, especially as the group of guys that we were, whenever we get together and stuff, and libations get to flowing and everything, we either making up a beat and making up music, you know what I'm saying, or somebody singing, You know, especially if they was at my crib, I'm gonna have the music playing all the time and old school music too.
Yep.
So, you know, so
Always.
see, Mac can sing. He can sing. You know,
All
so
right, now,
so
Matt.
so you
So,
know,
what
so
do you
we
think?
get to sing these certain songs that come on and everything, and we just go. We just have a good time.
That's what's up. So, Matt, what do you sing? Bass, tenor? I imagine you to be a tenor.
Yeah, tenor,
Oh, just speaking.
high tenor.
Oh, all right. Learn some new things. So let me ask you this. What was your primary source of inspiration or creativity when it came to marching band? Share a little bit about that.
Hmm. So obviously, like most people, I started marching band in high school. Well, for me, and I had never seen an HBCU until I seen Central State. So I'm gonna give them their props. I know that's rivals and everything, but they were the first HBCU band that I seen. But they were too close. That's like a 45-minute drive from Columbus. So I wanted to be a little farther. And I also went with who gave me the most money. So I went with Kentucky State, and it entered me into a world that I didn't know anything about. It was just, I mean, I was just like so green. I didn't know anything about HBCUs. I didn't know anything about black marching bands, and so I guess you could say Kentucky State was the best sort of source of motivation for marching bands for me because um, that was everything, to me. And I learned everything that I knew about black bands and HBCUs at Kentucky State.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Uh, you just mentioned about said Kentucky State giving you the most money and stuff like that. I want to break something down a little bit when it comes to marching bands because we just had a situation recently where Kentucky State University is band director just resigned, and he's actually going back to his alma mater, which is Central State University, and I'm definitely proud of him and happy with what he's done with Kentucky State University in those 10, 11 years that he was there. So people don't understand when it comes down to marching band, especially HBCUs, it costs a lot of money to run these marching bands and things like that, and to be able to get young adults in there. And marching band, probably 80 to 90% of the people that's in marching band are not music majors. So the marching band is one of the biggest recruiting organization on these campuses. We recruit for every other department. For instance, myself, I was a child development major. And then we had school teachers, we have education, we had nurses, we had all kinds of things, social workers. Everybody else is in the marching band, and everybody don't get a scholarship. And people think that everybody in the marching band is getting a scholarship. You don't get a scholarship. You have a budget. You still have to feed the marching band. The marching band is the first ones in, last ones out. We usually showing up the first Saturday of August. We have band camp, which means you have to get in shape to be able to do the things that we do and did. You have to be in shape. You have to be able to read music. You have to be able to read that music, play that music, sound good together, march, dance, move, all these type of things. Learn commandments, learn whistles. There's so much that's going on in these marching bands, man. You know what I'm saying? And we still have to get our grades, and we still have to graduate. So the fact of the matter is that people keep thinking that it's easy to be in marching band, or that they don't need to have the money. No, you do need to have the money. If you want to have a great band, you have to have the money to get more music majors in. You have to have the money to get a scholarship to these students, all of that. My first scholarship was $50. I came in on the
Wow.
list. Most people that get in marching bands and college marching bands, period, is doing it for the love. We do it for the love.
Right.
So these people that keep coming out talking about, well, the marching band got so much money. Well, yes, because you got a 200, 300 piece organization moving around.
that
It
you got
costs
to
money.
keep that you got
Yeah,
to keep moving. I would even venture as to far as to say it's as difficult to be in the marching band as it is to play a sport like football or basketball. With all the
absolutely.
intangibles that you just named, like we got to keep this thing moving. It's a lot. And it's
Absolutely.
difficult.
You have to clean instruments every year.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure these instruments is in working order because they have to sound right. You have to clean uniforms. We have to buy uniforms because now in our McDonald size people now, more material. Costs money for these uniform. A uniform costs you 300 to 500 per uniform.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
The
You have
accessories,
to
spats.
this accessories, your spats, your gloves, all of
Yep.
these type of things, your mouthpiece, the reeds, all
Hats,
these things
plumes.
cost money. Hats, plumes, all of that. All of that. What looks easy to the eye from the outside, what y'all see marching bands do at half times or marching down the field, it took so much work to even
Right.
get to that point. To even get to that point. Like you said, he's never seen an HBCU. People come in that's never even marched before. So you got to teach them how to march. And then there's a marching style at particular school that you have to learn. It's not that easy to be in a marching band. It's not easy at all.
Takes a lot of
We out there sometimes till 1 o'clock in the morning practicing because we got to get it right. And we once again, and we still have to get our grades. And a lot of us are working. I worked while I was in school because that was the only way I could be able to pay my way through school.
Kids.
Yep.
People have children.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I wanted to touch on that because my phone was blowing up because the band director resigned.
So do they have anybody in mind to replace him yet, or?
Apparently,
Mhm.
Mr. Reginald.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, apparently me.
You?
I mean, listen here. I don't have a master's, but if I had a master's, I would do it.
You need a
would-
man to do that?
100%.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to have a master to be a professor in a college. So
Okay.
I would definitely do it. And you want to know what? I guarantee I will build that band than it's ever been before. Guarantee it. Because I know it takes 5 years. I know it takes 5 years to put your own stank on it.
Yep.
But I'm gonna make sure that won't give you 10 to 15. And I know what it takes to have a great band program. And then I know the great people to put in place to have a great band program. Because there's a lot of other stuff, foolery and stuff that goes on behind closed doors as well when it comes to like alumni band and other people that just don't want to do right and don't want to help out. You know what I mean? But if I was put in that position, I guarantee Kentucky State University would be on the map again.
Well, it sounds like somebody's going to get a master's. I'm just going.
I'm saying.
I'm just going to drop that on in there.
Let me tell you this.
Flo, I was thinking the same thing.
I'm glad y'all was thinking it, but when President
Me too.
Right.
when Mr. President Joe Biden said that's student loan is forgiven.
I'm still waiting on him to do something with mine.
Yeah, I didn't get mine forgiven either. I'm waiting. I'm
West
praying.
Green got
I'm waiting.
Well, I'm not gonna be no dummy and go get back in debt.
Hey man, hey man, it's debt everywhere. Even if it's school or car or house or whatever it may be, it's debt everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
You ain't never lied.
It's about the kind of debt you want. A master's ain't a bad debt. A master's degree is not a bad debt to have. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you accomplish something that you wanted to do. It's just if you want to do that. If that's your passion, man, do it. But
Okay,
bro, I've been you while you enough. I know you ain't gotta say it, but if you want to say it, you can say it. But I mean, I'm talking in general. I ain't speaking on you.
They've already had this conversation before. He already know Reggie's answer. He's like, but bro, I done already told you. I done already told you, bro.
What I was asking, no, I wasn't gonna really say that. What I was asking you to say, bro, was, well, I know you're a generous man and everything, especially in that last podcast. You just ain't helping people and doing things. I was just gonna say, well, if you go ahead and pay for it for me, bro.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Listen. On this, all I need is a position in the back. I could write down, hit the keyboards a couple times. Like, you need the light swept on. Hey, I'm gonna need half of that. That money we talked about already. So, I'm cool.
Oh no, look, I'm gonna need you to run all that electrical stuff through there. Drill some holes in the wall.
I'm down. I got the
that masters
upgraded.
He can't be away from marching band. Some people just got it in him, and he's going to get it. And he might not be at KSU, but he's gonna be at somebody's band.
Oh, I could be away from it. I was away from it for 15 years.
I think it's more about the sound of the music and listening to music, hearing the music.
Hmm.
Music in our
Mhm.
soul. Music is life.
Right,
So
I
I
agree.
would say
Yeah.
being in the marching band is what you need. I mean, it's more the music, hearing the talent, hearing the songs, hearing the different arrangements everybody's making. Is is what's beautiful. I mean, music,
Hmm.
regardless of what kind of music it is, rap, R&B, country, blues, um, um, rock, hip hop, it's all music. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even that stuff that you keep sending me on TikTok, the buzzer, yo, whatever they saying, I don't know what they saying, but that's exactly what it sounds like. And you said this is what these kids listen today. That's still music. It may not be the music we like
Mhm.
listening to, but it's some music that somebody like listening to.
Yeah, and it's
Regardless,
reaching them on some level.
yeah,
Yeah,
On
yeah.
some
So
level.
I mean,
On
on
some
some level,
level.
it's reaching them. Don't reach
right.
me, but it's reaching them on some level.
So,
Likewise.
I
so,
can,
so,
I can.
Matt, when you first got on the campus, what was your thoughts? What was your feelings?
Well, Kentucky State, I know everybody says this, but we do have a beautiful campus. So I was like, man, this is amazing. But it's kind of like I felt like I was thrown out in the ocean because it was something that I had never experienced before. So after meeting people and understanding like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. It went from me understanding what to do to band becoming life. I had no idea that marching band will become like literally life. Like it's everything, like you said, it's all day. You got to do your classes and you got to eat and you got to do all that other stuff, but you still got to, we got band rehearsal, we got to go outside, we got to rehearse outside, we got to learn the shows, um we got to learn the drills, we got sectionals. Like band is like literally life. And for me, I'm a practicer, so I stayed in the practice rooms. But not everybody did, but I stayed in the practice rooms. But that was just me, want to be better, want to push myself. But I had no idea that marching band could become life, and that was important to me because I was there for 5 years. For 5 years, marching band was my life. So, and that's why it's so important to me.
That's what's that. Now, for the people that's out there that don't understand when he says sectionals, sectionals is when you're not practicing all together in the band room, and you go with your particular section. So, for instance, Matt, being a saxophone player, all the saxophonists is just going to go to a particular practice room and they're going to work on their music together. They're going to work on their armatures. They're going to work on breathing techniques. They're going to work on all these things that help you get better. So, usually, like in football, when you see football players, you have the offensive line over here, defensive line over here. That's what basically sectionals is in music. It's this exact same thing. You do that individually and you do that as a group as well. So you get in that music, understanding phrases and all of that kind of stuff. So when we come back together, then we can put all of that together. It's like a puzzle. It's trying to fit that puzzle together. And so that we have this great sound that we have that you guys hear once it's all finished, the product is finished. Absolutely.
Right. So when you come back together collectively as a unit, you sound better as a band, because if you don't do sectionals, you won't sound better as a band.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, you'll be able to hear the weak spots. And nobody wants the
absolutely.
weakest link.
And
Yeah,
Chambers heard all them weak spots.
Hmm.
All them weak spots.
yeah.
The
Call
way
you out in a heartbeat.
Reggie, the way you described it and relating it to football reminded me of how in the classroom how we pull small groups and how we have
Yes.
kids group based on whatever their skill set is, and then we
Yeah.
pull,
Hmm.
we work on things to sharpen things, and then we come back together for whole group instruction. So it's the theory works in a lot of different arenas, but the first
Hmm.
introduction for me was marching band. I didn't think about that until just now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, when you're dealing with a big group of people, like regardless of what it is, marching band, football, baseball, hockey, basketball, you need individual groups to bring that whole together. Because everybody got their little small things they need to work out in. Um, if you can't find those little small things as the whole group, you need to find a little individual, that one person that can help you with it. That's definitely what marching band. Those little individual sections, it helps people a whole lot.
And then also, you know, if band practices is say an hour, the band director just honestly doesn't have the time to deal with intricate parts for individuals. So that's when we take that time, for everybody, to grow together.
See, Reggie, you're gonna take a lot of time out your time in your days if you got to go ahead help the people in sectionals once you become that band director.
Yeah.
Mm. So speaking of that, once you breaking it down like that, in your bio, we know. Well, I know, but people know now that you was a section leader. What is that, and what was your particular job?
So section leaders sit first chair. So they normally play the first part, and they're in charge of making sure that everybody is on their part. So we would lead the sectionals, when we get together, making sure that everybody knows their part, everybody can play their part, uh, and also that everybody knows their part by memory, because that's the difference. If you can play it on the paper, but you also have to be able to play it by memory, which, shaking the tree, I know y'all remember that. He would
Yep.
call you out. If he calls your name and says, play this part in the stone, you got to be able to play it right there. Now, he never called my name, but I think he knew
Ready.
I was good. But he called some other people's name, and some people was cool, some people wouldn't. But even that situations like that, make you grow from that, because you don't want that to happen again. you know. But yeah, section leaders, and normally we have two section leaders, work together just to make the section better, and we have as many sectionals as we need to have for us to sound good, for us to sound the best. Also going over any fanfares, or whatever.
Absolutely. So when you're dealing with section leaders, and I'm speaking from a drum major's position, marching band is basically set up like military. So you have your general, which is your band director. Then you have, your captains, maybe, which would be your drum majors, and then you have your lieutenants, which would be your section leaders. And so it breaks down that way. The band director would speak to me and say, "This is what I want done for today," before I even come out there to address the band. And then I go and do what I need to do, what he just asked me to do. But then to make that even better, I'm going to talk to the section leaders. Section leaders, this is what we need to be working on today. This is what's going to happen. This is what I need your section to do, instead of talking to the whole section all the time. Now, the great ones, we're going to be able to talk to everybody individually as well, with the whole group, and sometimes just the section leaders. But mostly you just want to talk to the section leaders. So you want to put people in leadership that's great enough to be able to handle that position, so that they can get those particular jobs done in a marching band. Absolutely.
Yep, and it's all about delegation, being able to delegate, what you want to someone else, and being able to trust that they can get it done. So yeah, no, I agree totally with what you said.
Mhm.
Were you
Is,
saying
is what?
high school?
Huh?
Yes.
You were? Okay. I was going to ask. So, to the rest of your leadership skills that you saw in yourself in college, could you have forecasted seeing that when you were in high school? Like, could you have envisioned seeing yourself in that type of role when you were in high school? Well, Reggie, you were a drum major already, though, in high school.
Uh, yeah.
So if you think of high school Reggie, do you
Hmm.
think you could have seen yourself in the roles that you took on in college Reggie?
Absolutely. Because I've always been 5 years mature than my age. So I always hung out with the OGs and stuff like that. So in middle school, I hung out with my band director and told that story of, him teaching me really what a drum major's role is, and having to read this book about drum major and how to do everything as a drum major. And then in high school, I hung out with my band director, what I'm saying, after schools and stuff. So these conversations that we're having is greater than what you would just be showing up in the band room with. All right.
Okay.
And then not only that, just my lifestyle of what I was doing, and having to deal with at home also propelled me to be in this leadership position. So I'm kind of the middle person of my peers. Either they're younger than me or they're older than me, and things like that. So I'm kind of that middle person. So to have that array of attitude, being able to be around certain people, coming from the neighborhood I came from, and then coming into this world of, oh, these guys don't even know what I'm going through at home. I'm not, saying, not being afraid of nobody, not being afraid of the biggest bully in the band, because some people are bullies.
Yeah.
But to have a person in leadership like myself, like, hey, bro, that ain't cool. Chill out, or drop and give me 50 KSUs.
Right.
Everybody won't do that. Everybody won't do that as a leader, right? So high school helped me with that. Then also in college, hanging out with my band director. We have these conversations and stuff like that about band and life and what this means and how to go about doing stuff. So it was just an easy transition for me.
Okay. Herb, what about you? You want to repeat the question?
He's asleep.
The question was,
You know what, them people that be sleep with their eyes open.
That
I've
slow
done that.
smile.
Actually, I've done that one time in life, man. It was at a library I worked at in middle school. Man, shelf reading. We'll get to that story again later. Go ahead, Flo.
so the question was the high school version of yourself, the role that you played in high school band. Could you have forecast seeing yourself playing the roles you did in college? So whatever roles you took on, if you were section leader or just in the section, could you have forecast seeing yourself in that role?
Not necessarily. Um, in high school, Detroit, how Detroit bands are. It's all about cranking and doing this and blowing. Uh, uh, going up against other high school
No,
bands.
that was just your school. You went that was that Finney High stuff.
We talked about my experience. We talked about my experience, and Finney don't exist no more. But that's what I went to represent the Highlanders. But anyway, um, no, I didn't because when I got to college, the experience was totally different, especially from watching like Southern bands on tape, Jackson State, Grants on videotape. This is what I thought it was going to be. Actually, being in the college band, totally different from what I thought it would be. And it was an eye opener to me. It was totally different. Um, so it was about learning new roles, and then plus going through the intake process of the fraternity, it was totally different too. So it was
Mhm.
like all that in 1 year. So it was like a mass amount of information thrown to me that first year in college. So yeah, definitely different. Not, I didn't expect none of that. Definitely different.
Some of the things with coming from the high school type of marching band experience I had and going to a school like U of V Mercy, I felt like the students didn't take marching band as serious as I was used to taking it. And then it also didn't help. Well, it wasn't a bad thing that our band director at U of D was the band director for Central High School. So I had a rapport with him already. So there was already an established level of respect. Whereas I saw him as a teacher, whereas the other kids kind of operated with him like he was a peer. And that really rubbed me the wrong way. I did not like the way like they would interrupt and try to overtalk. And I felt like, hey man, that's our director. But they didn't see it the same way because they didn't have the same marching band experience that I did from high school. And thinking back, that was very frustrating to me, just being around and having to observe that. But so, Matt, I have another interesting question here for you, and actually for everybody. So, what was the turning point that led you to discover God's presence in your life?
Mm.
Oh, awesome. So I grew up in the church. So my father's always been a singer, musician, minister, and my mom was always a leader in the church. She's always had been a teacher in the church. So she taught kids. So they were leaders in the church. They were leaders in the community, leaders in our family. So church was everything. God was everything. So they instilled that in me at a young age. So it wasn't so much as they forced, but I was able to see that early on, probably elementary, middle school. And then I seen it as I grew, as I got older and gained wisdom. I seen it more and was able to understand it more. God's presence and God's control and everything, for sure.
Okay. Reggie, you about to say something?
Um, for me, once again, it was always around me and in my life. We was church going, a family as well. Like I said, my family, had a gospel group growing up. But my first introduction for real, that I knew that God had an anointment on my life is my step grandfather at the time, rest in peace, Mr. Sams. I mean, this guy would pray every night. And he would record himself every night. And I would sit at his door and just listen to him pray every night without, no
That's
matter what was going on, he prayed every night. So he was fixing on the dryer at the bottom of my grandmother. basement stairs, and I was sitting on the stairs at the top of the stairs. And he was singing church songs, and he just stopped and he turned around and looked at me. He said, "One day you're gonna be a soldier for God," and just turned back around and started singing. I never forgot it. I was in elementary. So
Wow.
that happened. Then just things in my life or situations that I would be in, it was nothing but God that got me out of these situations. You know what I mean? Nothing but. I mean, even in high school, there was a time I jumped in the car with some of my band buddies, and not knowing, the car pulled it, just got in front of us, and dudes jumped out with guns, had a gun to my head
Dang.
because one of my homeboys was, I guess, was messing with old boy girl. He snatched her out through the window. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Those type of things. Before I got to King, the year that I was coming to King High School, the teachers went on strike, and I'm hanging out with the band people because we practicing, we have a band camp and stuff, and I'm hanging out with them, and we walk into our cars. All you hear, there they go right there. Got the busing at me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, this is what high school gonna be like. You know what I mean? So understanding God has always had something on my life. I've been at parties where I'm taking pictures. Dude got a red dot. That red dot hit me dead in the chest, but he didn't let one go. You see what I'm saying? So it's always been things like that in my life. My roommate in college, Yosef, he was a praying young man when he came into school, but then he did play his cue and then changed. But we was roommates, and he would tell me all the time, like, you know what I'm saying, God has something on your life for you, but I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening. So these things was always happening around me until I started my journey now, understanding like God has always been in my life to lead me to where I am now, so that we're having these conversations to be able to put it out there to the world. Absolutely.
That's what's up. I remember, so I grew up as a pastor's kid. My daddy is a pastor. And then also he's West African. So his church was over in Ghana. And he just had a different template for what the expectations were for us. But he was one of my biggest supporters when it came to music and with marching band. Like he bought my clarinet. I remember him taking my uniform to get it cleaned and bringing it last minute to the school for stuff. Like he was a real big supporter of my involvement with marching band. But he also was a stern father, so I couldn't go down south. That's why I was in the city for college. I didn't get to go down south, but I appreciate him for that because I was very naive and innocent as a 17, 18-year-old girl. And he knew I wasn't ready for whatever he thought was down south. But I wish I could have gone. Herb?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that happened in my life. A lot of stuff happening in my life and happening. Can't really pinpoint one big major thing. I can't remember back when I was way little, going to Miami for the first time. Family reunion, and nobody's around. Everybody in the hotel room 'cause it's so hot outside in Miami. Um, Jumping in the swimming pool. You know, I was treading on the little end, in the small end, and then I decided, okay, I can do this. Jumping in the deep end. Well, no lifeguard on duty. Jumped in the deep end towards the middle, and I was drowning. And I pushed myself all the way back towards the edge. I don't know how I ended up back over there. Like, I really feel like I supposed to be dead then, but that could have been a big impact in my life. But it's so many different things.
Man, that's scary. Almost drowning.
I
That's what's up.
don't talk about that a lot.
Yeah,
So
that's
do you,
what I heard that.
do you swim still?
No, I can't swim. I think that's probably where my fear of water. Now, so I love the sound of water. I love the hearing the rain. I love waterfalls. I love seeing water. A lot of different stream service is of water. Um, but I can't swim. I have a fear of drowning. I really do. So no, I can't swim. I
That's a
don't.
valid fear, though.
Mhm.
All right. It's that time, baby.
It's
It's that time to put the smoke in the air.
Open.
Oh, here we go.
I got mine, but I obviously I can't light it in the house. Not
Yeah,
mine.
I'm the same way. I don't like that.
mine is fake smoke, so I just be
But I got that scorpion you sent me, Reg. I appreciate it.
I'm not gonna fake smoke it. I just gotta light it outside. But yeah, a brother
All
ready,
right, ladies and
ready,
gents,
ready.
this is the segment when we put the smoke in the air. In this segment here is that you have to tell a story, being that is good, funny, or indifferent about something that you experienced in your life that's dealing with marching band or bow checka bow bow.
I
But
got a
we don't
couple.
say no, but we don't say no names if you don't want to. If you don't want to say no names, you don't have to say no names. But if you want to say that, it's up to you. But
Okay,
this is that's part of the set.
got a couple funny stories. So
Oh,
we
Matt was
always used
ready. He was ready. He ready.
come on, man. Band was life for 5 years. You got to have at least a couple stories. But we always used to go to eat at Piccadilly's. And so it was one of those band trips where we were leaving Piccadilly's to go back to the bus. We got a couple buses in the parking lot. And for whatever reason, all the band guys decide that they want to be wrestling in the parking lot. So Catan Jones, I'll say his name,
Come on, name drop.
decides that he wants to try to pick me up and slam me. But I guess he didn't know that I'm a first degree black belt.
Uh-oh.
So I ended up having him on the ground in the headlock, grinding his head into the concrete.
I remember that.
So I got up, like, okay, he know now. Maybe he know now. He tried to grab me again. So he ended up again in the headlock, grinding his head into the concrete. I'm like, nigga, if you don't get your hands off me, nigga. So I was, don't touch me, So I mean, that's been a thing in my life, because I was like every bit of 140 in high school, in college, soaking wet.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I was thin, y'all know. So I know. I guess he thought, this is just gonna be easy, but don't always think that it's gonna be that easy. Keep your hands off people. So
Wow, bro. I didn't know you was a black belt, bro.
yeah,
Oh,
first
I
degree
remember
black belt.
that was in his bio for the intake. Watch this.
Yeah.
Watch that dude.
So the second story was we was at Gateway Classic, and something we were on field practicing for the halftime show that we were going to do. So the empty stadium, Chambers was in the stands, and somebody wasn't doing something right. I believe it was either Sean Scott or Marvin Bright.
Nope, it was
He
Sean
ran
Scott.
Sean Scott. He walked down all them steps all the way onto the field and lit Sean up. I don't know what he was doing or what he wasn't doing. I don't think he wasn't paying attention or something, but it
Mhm,
was hilarious, man. Like when we talk about that afterwards, like seeing him walk down all them steps, them
mhm,
stadium steps, bro. But I
mhm.
mean, yeah, he wanted us to get it right for the show, but that was a hilarious moment. So yeah, those are my two stories.
Yeah, that's fun. Hurt. You got one today?
Now go ahead, go to flow real quick. I'm still grinding
Yeah.
something. Brain still.
My stories are not nearly as funny as y'all's. Like I remember when
It's okay.
that popped in my head. Like I remember the game we had, I think against King and Cass, and Mr. Greer had the drum mallet. He was running around the bleachers and the drum. I remember the one time we were practicing drills and two people, one shall remain nameless because one is no longer with us, but Mark and somebody else turned the wrong way during the drill and the marching band was going this way and they were going the other way. Red, you remember
I, I kind of vaguely do. Yeah.
Ooh,
that?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
So that
Mhm.
must have happened to KSU too, because I'm talking about when it happened at King High School, somewhere between 92 and 96.
Yeah.
But Lamar played tuba. So, of course, everybody noticed if there's a tuba going the wrong way. And
Yep.
the other person played piccolo or flute. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, it was
But
super fun.
stuff like that was funny to me because as long as it wasn't me out there going the wrong way,
I did my part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was super
I had my
fun.
moments, but that time it wasn't me. Reggie, you got a funny story? Of
Well,
course you
I'm involved in just about all them stories when you talk about Monty Bear.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you remember this story. Um, it was I feel like it was Tuskegee, and we had to drive some ways, a long, long way. It was a group of us too. As a band, we was down there visiting, so we didn't have any cars or nothing. So as this drive take us down this long road, there's people stuffed in trunks, laid over
Oh,
laps, sitting in front seats
Wow.
everywhere. Now the problem with this story is that we had no clue where it was going. I mean, like it's cornfields on side of us, and it's a dark road. No
I
clue
was
what's
Ohio.
going on.
No, we was in Alabama.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bama.
so, you know,
Yeah, them backwoods.
Yeah,
that's,
drove all
got
the way. We drove all the way from Atlanta to down in Alabama in some backwoods.
nervous. So about time we get there, we pull up to a barn, and it was
Yep,
definitely a barn party.
yep.
Oh,
All
arm party. Okay.
barn party, and all I remember is okay, this look legit. No, 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 they good. Let them on in. Let them on in. We know. Just let them on in. Yeah. If y'all was there, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Now, what at the same time with the Chambers thing?
Yeah. No, no, no,
Yeah,
no. I think was it? No,
I
I think
think
that
that
was
was the same one. I think it's
when
the
y'all was
same
singing
one.
out. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Dave,
So
were you
so
there at this shindig here?
No,
No,
no, I
Yeah.
wasn't there. It sounded like
uh,
some old juke joint stuff though.
it
oh
does.
Let
man,
him in, let him in, let him in.
Get
bro,
punched. Oh,
it
who
was
this
live.
man?
It was live. It was live. Talking about number of bros and sorors, and it's just jam packed.
You know what I
Yeah.
just pictured? Y'all know that picture from the 80s or the 90s? I think it was on Good Times. It was the party scene with the people
Oh, with the
dancing.
dancing. Oh
That's what I
yeah.
just pictured.
That's exactly how it was looking up in there. It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah.
Man,
It
that
was
sounds
dark.
like it was lit.
I'm gonna get that story. I'm gonna add on to that story how that
You,
story even started. So
he's about to start the beginning of it. His side of the experience. See, my side of the experience didn't start off like his. I didn't have to do what he had to go through. I was on a different flow.
well, I'm in my room, and mostly people would come to my room, and everybody, having good times and having fun, right? So I started a pillow fight first in the room and everything. So everybody on the bed having a pillow fight. So what I did, I convinced all the young cats that was in the band to take their pillows and go hit the band director. So they got geeked up like yeah. So they went out, but nobody ain't knocking on the door. They scared to do it. So I'm like, man, y'all scared. So I go out and I stand by the door. I knocked on his door. He opened that door. I fired him up. Glasses went. I took off running. I don't know what happened after that. Some people say they hit him, but I don't believe it. But the better when he came in that room, boy, he wreaked havoc. Now, Matt 140, I was like 145, 155, soaking
Yep.
wet back there
Yep.
too.
And
You
he's
know what I mean?
strong.
Hey, look, I hid up against the side of the bed in the corner, threw them covers over and everything. He came up in there, man, he wrecking shop, telling everybody to leave, go back to their rooms and all that kind of stuff. People was hiding in the shower, which was silly. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? He smacking up everybody. Get out of here. He told one person, you go to bed too. He told, man, I'm guilty by association.
You go to bed too.
So look, so we in there. He had told everybody, they can't go nowhere. Everybody stay in the room. And our other roommate was in there. And I'm like, where did he go? Because the band director now is sitting outside in the hallway where you can't,
You
but
can't go
our
nowhere.
room, yeah,
Right.
our room was literally right across from the stairs. So, you take 2 steps, you can go down the stairs right there. And I'm like, where the hell Neil go? They be like, he in the bathroom. I said, no, he ain't in the bathroom. I went in there. He went, like, how the hell did he get out of here? So I peeked out the door and saw the band director sitting there. As soon as he turned his head to the right, I just jumped across, went down the stairs because I figured that's how Neil got out of it. And next thing you know, it was just bros coming like ants all from all different ways from out the building. We jumped in this car, man. We had 2 people in the trunk. We had people on the dashboard. About 1, 2, 3, 4 people up front.
Hold up. The
About
trunk was
5 people.
closed.
Yeah.
The
And,
closed, bro.
huh?
I ain't. The trunk was closed.
Yeah,
I remember, bro. I ain't laying in nobody's trunk closed.
yeah,
Can
Hey
you
yeah,
man, no ride to get nowhere. I
bro.
need
We had 1, 2,
trying to
3,
get out
4,
there and party. That's
5
what you
people in
gonna
the back seat. People laid across the laps, bro. And we just took off. We was out and we went to this party.
do. Yeah,
My
yeah.
goodness.
That sounds like so much fun.
Oh no, it was. It was scary getting there, because I don't know what's about to happen. You remember Get Out, my brain was telling me to get out this car, take your butt back home,
Yeah.
driving down this dark field. But yeah, man.
Now here's the other part to that too, though, Flo. Now we did that, right? Well, I did that. I'm gonna say I did it. right? And everybody that was there too. No, everybody was so scared the next day they don't say nothing. So myself and my roommate at the time, it was just us two had to pack the whole bus. We packed
Woo!
the whole bus by ourselves in the rain because everybody else was scared. He,
In the rain.
it was raining. He gonna take my scholarship. He gonna kick me out of bed.
Matt, you know,
Oh. Yeah,
negotiate.
these jokers got on the bed on that bus and acting like they was asleep. Band director was cool. He told me, he said, Reggie, I'm gonna get your little ass. He waited, he waited till I went to sleep and fired my ass up. Well, I was like, hey, we had fun, man. We had fun. But I
That's
told him I was gonna get him though before I left there. He just didn't believe me.
man. Y'all had way too much fun. I missed out. We had our own little version of fun, but it wasn't like that. But okay, so
So from the woman that talks about they hung out with gang members.
I just
Whoa, what?
Yeah, let's hear about it. Let's hear about it.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
it's not even okay. So one of the trips we had when I was in my marching band, we had to the Sweet 16. I think it was in Chicago. And I just remember being in the hotel room. It was me, some band members, and I think these guys were invited. They were invited guests. They were not in the band with us. It was like 6 or 7 of them hanging out with us in the hotel room. And I have pictures somewhere in one of my books, and I'm like, they taught me little gang signs, and I'm throwing up gang signs looking crazy as hell. But and then that was the same trip that one girl, her daddy like sent her $200, and she took everybody to Steak and Shake. No, we were in Ohio when that happened. We were in Ohio.
Uh-oh.
All my band stories are around the Midwest. We didn't
You
get to
remember
go.
what city?
Might have been Dayton.
That's when my wife was born.
I think it was in Dayton. We were there for some basketball because we traveled with the basketball team whenever they went to different tournaments and things like that. So we didn't get to follow. We didn't have a football team at UAD, but we would have our own little version of fun times, but they pale in comparison to y'all stories. See, unless they just they left me out of some of these activities, I don't know. But so we are at the good question here, the one that y'all love. Build your perfect marching band.
Matt.
Matt, you go first. Yep.
All right.
Like,
So
and that means that you starting with where your drum major is gonna come from, where your brass, you can do just all brass, or you can do, in particular brass players. What band is this gonna be?
all right. So I'll start with head band director, obviously Chambers is gonna be head band director. I got Colomo as assistant band director, Colomo Bailey.
Oh Lord. Ooh, they gonna bump heads, boy.
Already know.
There's
Already
gonna
know.
be some trouble in that.
Already know.
There's gonna be some trouble.
Already know. Because they had two different thinking processes,
That's gonna be wild.
two different schools of thought. But
Mhm.
yeah, I would have loved to have seen how they work together or didn't work together.
I could have made a band TV show on the reality.
Yeah, because Colomo was more he wanted stuff to be loud, and have that loud sound. And Chambers was more musical, he was more concerned with the quality of the sound. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe they could have met somewhere in the middle. Drum majors, I say FAMU. I've seen them a few times, and they get down. I'm taking dancers and flags from K-State, brass from Southern,
When you say K-State, what do you mean?
Kentucky State.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, thoroughbreds. Yeah, thoroughbred dancers, thoroughbred flags, all brass from Southern. I haven't seen them live, but I've seen them plenty of times online, and yeah, they got a great sound. They're brass. I'll take K-State thoroughbred woodwinds and Prairie View percussion drumline. I haven't seen them live, but I followed them for years online, and they're legit. My wife, she only played band in high school, but she actually followed Prairie View like before I really got hip to them and started listening to them. And she was showing me videos. I'm like, okay, yeah, they dope. So yeah, did I miss a? That's my band.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna answer your personal thoughts. Even if you wanted like Kenny G, that's your son. That's on you, bro. Hey, whatever you like. Ain't nobody tell you that you can't have him.
No, I was saying, did I miss any sections?
Oh no,
I get all the sections.
like, well, I
Yeah,
will be.
Matt, I got a question for you, man. Being that you are in two different organizations, what are the differences between them two? What are the pros and cons for both?
Uh, I mean, so both great organizations, both brotherhood, you know, meeting brothers that you're gonna have friendships with and brothers for life. The biggest difference is the music, with Kappa Kappa Psi, and that, we're tied to the band, the marching band and the symphonic band. So, Kappa Alpha Psi doesn't have that music element. So where the music element is not in Kappa Alpha Psi, it's more service, as far as service in the community. So we did more events to service the community, than whereas, Kappa Kappa Psi, our events are involved around the marching band. So that's the biggest difference. Everything we do is band with Kappa Kappa Psi.
Mhm.
It's band. How can we involve the band? How can we raise money for the band? How can we raise money for the frat? So that's the biggest difference. But still two amazing organizations.
Okay, okay. And when was your first love for music? When did you say that I want to play an instrument? When did that happen for you?
So my dad, he's always been a musician, a master musician on the guitar. So I wanted to play the saxophone. I used to look in the Sears and Roebuck catalogs, and they used to have instruments in there. And so, like in the second, third, fourth grade, I'm like, yeah, I want a saxophone. I don't know, I like the way it looked more than the way it sounded. And so eventually in the fifth grade, they got me a used horn, and I started taking lessons, and eventually, I stuck with it, and they got me a better horn as I got better, and was into it more. And, the instruments got more expensive as I stayed with it longer.
Mm. You have any siblings or anything like that in that play instruments?
No, I'm an only child, but I do have a cousin. So when I taught at A Plus Arts Academy, I was his band teacher, and he went on to develop and grow a love for jazz. And so he ended up getting his bachelor's and his master's in jazz studies. And he plays the saxophone, and he's amazing. So I feel like, I did my part in, helping pass this love of music to somebody in my family, because he's definitely doing his thing. He got his own band in Columbus, and he's doing great. His name is Jason.
That's what's up. Shout out to Jason.
Every-
With that excitement, because people be like, somebody told me, oh, we need Herb to step it up and talk a little bit more, because he all trying to be all modest, because that ain't the Herb we know. Do you have a story about Herb when you was a cop?
Let me take some notes. Hold on.
What?
Mhm. A lot of the stories about her, I can't say because
Oh my God! Good man.
you know why.
Yeah,
So
wow.
I mean, when he was Mr. Zero to 10, I can't tell those stories. But yeah, this is a subdued, heavily subdued Herb.
So we need to get him some more bourbon. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, he used to walk into the room like we over Reggie's or whatever. He's like, "What's going? What's good? What's good?" Like, or just on 10.
This man,
I have never
this
seen him on 10.
Oh yeah. Some people
been
might say he was on 11 or 12, but yeah.
Mhm.
once in a while, man. I gotta
Um,
see examples nowadays. So,
yeah,
um,
speaking of examples, man, how is it being, saying a father now,
Me or her?
you,
Matt?
Matt.
Oh,
Oh,
everybody.
oh, amazing. Yeah. So Jackson he'll be 3 the end of August. Johnny will be 1 here next week. So yeah, just to say it real quick, my wife and I got into fostering, and it's been amazing for us. So we were able to actually adopt um, Jackson first last year, and then we'll be adopting Johnny soon. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's been amazing. Yeah.
Mhm. Was that like a what type of conversation was that? Did you bring that to your wife or did she bring it to you?
Yeah, we talked about it, and it's something that we wanted to do. And actually, during COVID, when we were just stuck at home, we started taking the classes, because we had to take
Mhm.
classes for like a few months. And then that led into, like, I mean, we got placement once we were done with the classes. We got placement like in a week. So
Oh, so
we
it was
fostered,
quick.
yeah, we fostered 4 newborns, and then 2 of them are able to stay, with us. So it's been heavily beneficial to us and to our lives, and they're a part of our lives. Yeah, yeah. Fatherhood is everything. It's great.
Oh,
You
man.
know,
That's
don't get no sleep.
very admirable of you, because a lot of people either don't know much about adoption or fostering, or are even interested in it. You know,
Mm.
Mhm.
and there's a lot of children who need us. So,
Huge
Yeah,
blessing to us.
yeah,
you know,
absolutely. What about you, Hurt?
Oh, definitely different. You know. Uh,
Oh, there you go with that Barry White voice again. There you go.
well, the thing is,
Right.
like I said, so it goes back to what Matt was talking about being on 10 all the time. When I say set an example, I mean, like, there's people in my household and animals in my household that is loud all day long. There has to be someone with a voice of reason, sometime here has to come with that. The mindset of keep it down. Then there's a little one on the way that I gotta show different.
Huge congrats.
So um the bourbon's out there, it's slowly entering my system. So by the time this podcast is over, maybe I might be loud out there with them, but it's definitely different out there with everybody. And I enjoy it. I love it. It's definitely a different experience than what I thought it would be, but I really have no thoughts about it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But Matt, man, we want to appreciate you and say thank you, man, for jumping on this podcast with us. It's an honor that you was able to do that with us. I know it's real early over there where you at, on your side of town, and
Thank you.
uh,
Greatly appreciate you. Nice to meet you, Flo. Herb, go ahead, turn it up a little more, man.
Matt,
mhm.
make sure you get up with me though when it's over with. 'Cause we got a couple things we need to holler about. I appreciate you coming up here, man. I
Hey,
appreciate
don't forget to subscribe, people. Don't forget to hit like. Tell all your friends, your lovers, your confidant, and even the ones you cheating.
oh, don't yes, bring us the drink. We want the tea. We do want the tea.
That's
Follow
right. That's right. Tell everybody.
Twitch. We're everywhere. Instagram.
Comment, all that good stuff, baby.
Check us out.